Yeah. What is going on, guys? Just wanted to jump on and get my trade recap. If you're asking yourself why there wasn't a video yesterday, just because there was bank holiday, so there wasn't we don't trade bank holidays. Just because of how volatile the markets can be on a bank holiday, especially a US bank holiday. So yeah, today was unfortunately a break even day today. Um it's interesting on why I actually got out at break even, and I'll kind of explain that process and um why I went break even, and in terms of what I saw and what I felt comfortable with in terms of why price is moving a certain way. That I don't know, but I'm just reacting of what the market was giving me at the time. As you can see, like price ends up coming all the way down to hitting our take profit in a sense. But with what I saw at that time, I reacted and moved my stops to break even because of what I saw right here, being that we were in 1 hour, like we were in high time frame bullishness. This was a just a 5 minute continuation down to these internal lows, so internal to external. I was just targeting these lows. We also had multiple fair value gaps towards the downside as well, towards the upside on the 1 hour. But this bias was formed on the fact that we were overextended on the 1 hour and needed some form of pullback, um, which I will go over in a sec. But yeah, just wanted to jump over my bias that, like, yeah, we did have our 5 minute continuation, but in a sense that we did kind of have that high time frame backstory of why shorts could have happened, as we weren't in a discount to actually long anything. So as you can see, we have this huge extension up. We haven't hit equilibrium yet. So in terms of being high probability, um, to go even higher. You know, I didn't see that on the lower time frame, especially what we had when market opened. So yeah, in terms of high time frame, nothing really much on the 4 hour. Besides this 4 hour high up here, as you guys can see, we're making some legs down here. So we could be retracing up even further if we invalidate this range here. Or price has tapped that 4 hour equilibrium. But again, with these highs just sitting above here, I do think that we are just retracing on the 1 hour to at least take out these 1 hour, 4 hour highs, which are up here, and then maybe continue on that 4 hour trend to the downside. But um, yeah, so on the 4 hour time frame, we're in a bearish state at the moment. We're in a bearish leg. Um, and the 1 hour, we just turned bullish on the 1 hour. We have multiple fair value gaps to the upside. The only thing that doesn't make longs like super obvious is the fact that we're still in a premium to actually go long on the high time frame. So if you do want to go long with all these stacked fair value gaps, ideally we kind of want to get in around here on this fair value gap leg here. That's if we end up manipulating down here and then we inverse the 1 hour again, because it's looking like a 1 hour fair value gap might be formed to the downside. But who knows? That's tomorrow's action. Um, yeah. 15-minute time frame. We didn't really have much on with market open, and when we did take the trade, we had no gaps to really consider, as well as we were kind of chopping up here. We had small gaps here, but again, I would say the only considerable gap would be this, which is price is currently in at the moment, so it's kind of just doing its thing. But we were able to we saw opportunity at within this leg here, we had no 15-minute opposing fair value gaps, so no condition to actually go long. The only condition that we had to actually go long was the fact that we took out these lows here, which I did mark out on the 5-minute time frame. The only condition that we could have had to go long was us creating a 5-minute um, condition, taking out these internal lows to target external. Um, and yeah, so 50-minute time frame, we have, nothing really much going on. But the 5-minute time frame, we did have an opportunity. Um, so as you guys can see, we actually switched to a bearish state um, when it came to market open, which I'll draw out now. So market open on this candle here, we just turned into a bearish state on this 5-minute candle here, which is also a plus because we've also taken out these highs as well. So we're actually taking out all the people that try to go short on this candle here. Stops would have been here. We also had this high that wasn't able to take out this high. And then we get a nice sweep during Asia session. We weren't able to continue on. We had no bullish kind of POIs to react from besides this inversion, which is here, which price actually used once again. um, and again, we weren't able to, push past these highs once again. And, we end up climbing our way down, making a market structure shift, which is what we had here. And, so our 5-minute internal was bearish, and our condition was this 5-minute fair value gap that was here. That was our condition. Knowing that we are in a 1 hour fair value gap and the market just switched bearish on the 5-minute time frame, ideally I'm looking for these internal lows to get taken to see, how we react and things like that. One thing to consider though was with the trade that I actually got in was pretty fucked. Just because when we took out this low here, I wanted to see that, hey, like, I'm happy to go short, but I wanna be proven that we still hold these bearish gaps, right, after taking out internal lows, right? Because ideally, what I don't want to see is this internal low get taken out. We react off this 5-minute, right? Oh, sorry, I should have worded this better. I just my thoughts actually caught up to what I was saying. But yeah, what I in terms of being proven, knowing that this internal low isn't the target for reversal, short time reversal, I want to see what this fair value gap does, right? Ideally, we don't want to inverse it because that just means that, hey, we collected enough liquidity. If we push past, this fair value gap here, ideally we make a new condition as well, just to be proven as well. We make a new bullish condition, which in this case would be our bullish 5-minute, and then we take a trade based on the fact that we can target this 5-minute fair value gap, which is here, but we get a nice retracement into this leg here. We hit this, we go break even here, or even at this high here, targeting this 5-minute unmitigated first presented here, and look for longs that way, or look for targets that way. But I wanted to see a reaction, right? I wanted to see that, hey, these internal lows aren't enough to actually push price higher, and which is exactly what we got on the 5-minute, on the 1-minute, sorry. So as you guys can see here, we actually take out these internal lows when market, oh no, before market open. So pre-market actually took out these lows. And we see a reaction from this 5-minute gap and we had this inversion down here, this bullish inversion, which was here. There was no 3 minute, and no, there was no 3 minute fair value gap, opposing fair value gap to our trade. The only thing that we had was this 1 minute inversion here, and once we invert, once we inverse this 1 minute fair value gap, I was looking to go long. But again, just keeping in mind that we are still hanging around this internal low down here. That we still are hanging around it. We're not getting some smooth displacement, you know, and things like that. So that, that's something that I had in mind also, that hey, like we still are hanging around this internal low, like we aren't displacing, which is what we actually had on this leg down here, which is what I expected after reacting from a 5 minute gap. But yeah, as you guys can see, we get that reaction. We enter on the inversion. Second, we enter on the reaction of this inversion, almost about to close. But again, this trade would have been validated just because we did inverse that 1 minute gap. So we enter once this 1 minute fair value gap gets inverted, which is here, targeting the lows that I mentioned before of the last of the internal lows within this 1 hour fair value gap, which I would have loved to seen a reversal from. So we go short on this inversion, stops above this high and targeting a 1 to 2 4, which is these lows down here. And what ended up happening was that we got some nice displacement down, and we had a nice displacement down. We get some nice closes. We get a candle formed all the way down here, and we reverse straight up. So to me, like, I'm happy to go out or break even. Like, I put my break even. I actually went break even once we formed this wick down here, because ideally what we see end up happening all the time is that when we drop like a certain amount of points, um when we drop that far down, like 35 points, and price reverses after taking out these internal lows, this shows weakness of sellers actually not being able to push down to these internal lows, which was mentioned before, right? So I was happy to get out break even, especially when I see this. I'm happy to get out, even though this trade was a winner. The crazy part is that like like what sucks is that I'd rather lose a trade than actually miss out on the winning, or like the trade actually playing out after going break even. But again, I feel like that's just the game that we play, right? When we trade, what am I comfortable with? You're forgetting the internal factors of psychology as well, right? What am I happy to lose? If I'm happy to lose this trade, but to me, like, I'm happy to when I see displacement down here and we reverse, I'm happy to get our break even. Like, I'm keeping it a buck, because not only do we inverse this bearish fair value gap, which ideally we wanted to kind of let hold, we also had nothing on the 3 minute. So again, the only PRYs we reacted from was this 5 minute, and the fact that we excuse me, and the fact that we had our entry model, which we inverted this 1 minute here. We get displacement away from these lows, and then ideally we should see a continuation, especially like with these lows being so close to this wick here. We get some nice displacement. We get a nice little bullish candle here. We take out these lows and then instantly reverse. I'm really happy to get out break even, because what likely happens is that we now are reactive on this 1 hour. Um, yeah, we are now reactive on this 1 hour fair value gap here, and not only that, but the 5 minute. Like, remember, still the candle that we have on the 5 minute, right? We technically didn't even close below these lows. Like, this is the candle. You guys can see this full like transparency here. You guys can see my orders and everything like that. You know, this is the candle that was printed on the 5 minute. When I see this, this is not good. Like, this is not really a good sign for the because it just means that sellers just aren't there, right? And the 1 minute, does this thing where we actually get taken out break even. I don't know what the hell we filled here. I think we tapped it. Like, I guess we filled in this fair value gap again. But again, it's just one of those things where, like, ideally, this fair value gap shouldn't hold anymore, but it does. So that's whatever. But yeah, I mean, like, I feel like I played this trade out very, very well. I know, like, I'm gonna see TikToks. I'm gonna see TikToks later on, tomorrow or something. Oh, such an obvious short, But like, is it really? Because like, yeah, the trade ends up playing out, but then with a stop like this, and we're playing on the lower time frame, you know, and we're in a high time frame POI to actually go long. We have our internal draws though, which is here. Um, but our 5 minute candle closes so sus after making a huge wick down. I'm really happy to go break even. Like, after seeing, when we form this candle and I see that we haven't even closed below these lows on the 5 minute, like, I'm happy to go break even on this trade, just because like it becomes less of a probability, right? Like, we see, the trade ends up playing out, but if like if I see this, like, I'm reacting and I'm getting out because there's just no point. Like, why form this huge wick if we're unable to close below and break away from our entry? Because our entry should be optimized, right? So if we're unable to um break away, right, and close on the 5 minute, chances are is that we actually hold these internal lows and we reverse off this fair value gap, because now this fair value gap um is used, right? It was used to well, like, if we say it in a sense of, it was used to actually take out these lows here. And not only that, but we also had another sweep of these lows here. We could say that price took out these internal lows, right? Where we hit a 5 minute fair value gap. We take out these lows once again, right? People try to long, and then we take out these lows once again, right? And we get a nice wick. We get a nice wick down here, and we get a close above this inversion. No, yeah, above this bearish fair value gap. Like, chances are we actually, like, most of the time I've seen this happen is that, when we get a bullish close like this, it ends up being like this, and we get stopped out. So again, like, prime reason why I got out of break even, I was willing to actually hold this trade up, but prime reason why I got out at break even is because I see this wick here and we closed above here. I'm seeing on the 5 minute that, hey, this is such a sus close. Like, we didn't even close below the internal low, by the way. And we were unable to actually, like, close with displacement below those lows, right? Ideally, we should actually see a flush move all the way down to these lows, especially being internal, being so close together. Price shouldn't, like, if we were trying to catch short, ideally this would have been it. But again, price just does this thing. We get stopped out of break even, and yeah, price just, like, ends up getting that move that we were initially and whatever that we were looking for to actually take out these lows. So again, a good trade idea. We had the high time frame buys, 1 hour being in a premium. And the fact that we were overextended on the 1 hour time frame, so we had all these other gaps to fill. Um, but longs could have also worked too, right? So I'm saying that from internal to external. So um I wasn't coming into the day with a bias. I had bias in both direction. It was just a matter of what price was giving me at the time, and price gave me this setup. And yeah, I would say it's a good setup. It's just the sus close on the 5 minute, which like wanted me to get out of break even, which just made the trade more probable because if we close below here, on the 5 minute, ideally, we actually, we get a nice move all the way down to these lows because it's not too far. But it's just, again, that 5 minute close was just enough for me to be like, nah, like I'm happy to get out. So, it is what it is. Trade-ins are playing out. Nothing we can do about that. We just got to move on, go on with our day, making sure, we're managing our risk and things like that, which I was happily to do today. Yeah, let me know what trade you guys took today, if you guys took any, and what were your biases and high time frame bias, low time frame bias, what's your entry model, and things like that. And yeah, just want to thank you guys so much for watching. Oh my god, I still have this video up from the weekend. But yeah. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. God bless. I got work and I'll try to get some good sleep. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much. Again, God bless, and I hope you guys have a good night. Later.